This podcast was produced on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Welcome to Australia.
Aussie.
This is kind of tragic.
Someone who is such a connoisseur of reality television.
The content is hideous.
So sorry about this. Oh my God.
Annabelle,
I'm here.
you're here on the couch.
I'm living for it. And Farida has already given me the sniff test.
Yeah.
I passed.
Yeah, girl. Frida does decide who can pass through onto the couch and who needs to sashay away.
Well, she gave my jeans a good licking and she decided I tasted mighty fine.
She's such a licker. People are always like, oh, you're a chihuahua. It's going to bite me. I'm like, bite? No. Lick? Absolutely. She will lick you the house down.
And it's an honour.
It is. You should be so lucky to receive licks from the princess herself.
This is what I say when my dog Puffy Fluffykins tries to eat your sweater. I'm like, well, Puffy only eats natural fabrics.
Of course.
So actually it's an appreciation for the merino or cashmere blend.
Speak of the devil, here she is. She's getting in there. She's licking. How are you, doll?
Oh my God, I am so good. I'm so glad that you got me onto this season of Love Triangle. I'm a bit of a Love Triangle connoisseur.
So you've seen other seasons?
Yes. So
Okay.
I've seen the American season and I've seen one other Australian season. It was only in talking with you I realised there is another Aussie season I've missed.
I think it was originally an Aussie format, no?
I think so. Anyway, there's been some format changes with this season, which I'm not loving, and I did want to talk about.
Namely, lesbians.
Oh no, the lesbians are always positive.
Always.
Every love show is made better with lesbians because only lesbians can authentically fall in love in a 24-hour time frame.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it just adds more drama, especially as they also love talking about their feelings in public. And I just feel like the straights don't often come to the table with this.
Did you watch I Kissed a Girl?
No.
Okay, so that's your homework is to watch that. It was so it's this show. It's currently on again now, but it's I Kissed a Boy, so they alternate. Danny Minogue is the host.
Oh my God.
It's in a masseria in Italy. Huge BBC show. I feel like it's their other big show besides the Traitors, and it's so good. And the girlies gave way better drama than the boys did.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but they've cast it differently. Like the boys season that's on now, they've gone full queer with it. They've gone young twinks. Everyone's gender fluid and living their femme fantasies, which I love.
So what's the premise?
The premise is they're all in the masseria. They pair them a la maths, but before they even speak to each other, they have to pash. They have to snog in the masseria. So there's steamy makeout sesh first, then they all just live in the house together. And it's at the ceremony, it's do you want to stay with your match or do you want to kiss another boy? And then chaos ensues.
Okay.
But it's good. It's wholesome for this kind of show.
Is it straight?
No.
Oh no, so the whole
No. So
thing.
I Kissed a Boys all boys, and I Kissed a Girls all girls.
Oh my
yeah. It's like a full
God.
queer dating show. Yeah.
Okay, no, I need this.
Yeah, it's really, and Danny is just there, she's so invested. When they don't kiss each other, because at the ceremony it's they turn around, they kiss. If they don't do it, she gets so upset. She's what went wrong? She's what happened?
So the opposite of Christelle.
Yeah. Oh my God. We'll get to Miss Christelle, but wow,
Yeah.
she took that paycheck, didn't she?
Oh, she sure did. She showed up, she gave nothing, and she left.
Exited the building. But yes, essential viewing. Danny kills it, and they do this icons party, which is kind of like Snatch Game, but just at a party. So it's dress up as a queer icon, and I love this season. Everyone comes as Elton John and Freddie Mercury, and one of the guys is I'm Lisa Vanderpump. And I was correct.
I love that. I thought you were going to say Jojo Siwa, and I was ready to be genuinely
Oh
upset.
my God. No one is dressing up as Jojo Siwa.
Can you
in
imagine?
2025.
Can you imagine?
Cancelled. So good.
Did you ever watch the bisexual Are You the One?
No, but I think I started it. And then I don't know why I didn't keep going. Is that
It
one's
was
good?
so good. It was like
Okay.
non-stop orgies, drama, screaming,
Oh,
crying.
hang on. Yes. This is the one with Remy. I did watch this.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was great.
Remy is so hot. And
So hot.
I believe now has a child with someone in Melbourne. So he's always here. Yes, because he keeps like popping up on my grinder. And I'm like, Remy,
Okay.
hello.
Hi.
I'm available.
Please.
But yeah, not that keen. But fuck, he's hot.
Smash and report back.
I like that he was smashing everyone in the house.
It's been years since I watched it,
Yeah.
but so many, like, when they were having that orgy in the smash
in the
room.
smash room. Every show needs a smash room.
Seriously, this show, Love Triangle, would be so much better with a smash room.
Love Triangle is a show where they went, here, have a DD voucher and an Airbnb in like a random Sydney suburb and enjoy these 2-minute noodles.
Literally.
That was the budget for
it
Love
was
Triangle.
so low budget.
Yeah.
And okay, we'll get into
Yeah.
how that's fed into the format changes later because I was outraged.
You said you're also watching 90D.
Oh my God, yeah. So I've always been a big 90-day podcast follower. This is my first season where I'm actually watching it. And
Who are the good 90D pods? Give them a shout out.
Okay. Puya's 90-Day Fiance. I absolutely love
Stan.
it. Favorite podcast. And my favorite thing about it is just, it's always been hearing him be so upset and scandalized. But I always felt like, you know, his pain threshold for sexual scandal was quite low. And I was like, no. I feel like I have a higher pain threshold for this. I think I can do this. And like the problem is, Sam, I just feel so personally victimized by every single one of the couples because I'm like, I have dated this low life in a past life, and
you didn't even get a green card out of it.
I didn't even get a green card out of it, and yeah, no,
Oh, it's so obvious. Like that show triggers something in me where I'm just like, oh, I can't. Like when they're just using someone so clearly for the green card, and you're like screaming at the TV, like they're using you.
But it's a mutual using arrangement.
True.
Like, the American is always the worst person in the whole entire world.
Well,
that no one would actually date unless there was something in it.
yeah.
And
they're never even rich. Like
No.
it's not like Housewives or whatever where they're like fucking some rich guy. It's literally like for the green card. So these people aren't even like like they're always living in like bumfuck like
Wyoming on a farm.
Yes, it's poverty porn. But TLC, everything TLC puts out is poverty porn.
No, it really is, and it's just been outrageous. And I was really excited because there's a unicorn hunting couple on it trying to exploit poor Mexican woman. And it's been the worst, except of course the plot twist we all seen coming. Their stripper Mexican girlfriend actually called Brenda and has actually been kind of scamming them the whole time. And now we're supposed to feel sorry for
Justice
this toxic
for Brenda.
couple. Justice for Brenda. I'm so on Brenda's side.
Okay, I need to hop in. The problem is though, there's like 7,000 seasons, 10 million episodes. Like I never know where to jump in.
No, completely. And also, it doesn't matter because anything good that's happened will be replayed
True.
so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually just hop on YouTube and be
Yeah.
like, give it to me.
Yeah.
90D.
Yeah. You don't need a backstory.
And all the spin-offs, like 90D, the first 30 days, like after the 90 days.
Happily Ever After. Apparently, they're doing like a Love Island version of it now where they bring back all of like the most toxic people from last seasons and smush them in a villa together.
Can we ban just moving shows to islands? Like Deal or No Deal Island breaks my brain.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You can't just put a show on an island and be like, there you go, new show.
T. You.
Traitors Island. I bet that'll come soon.
Oh my God, no, not Traitors Island. It's just honestly, it's just an excuse to get everyone in a bikini.
Yeah. And all of the like TV production are like want a free trip to like Fiji.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I would actually low-key watch Traitors Island.
I'm sorry. Now you've seeded Traitors Island in my brain. I can't stop thinking about it, and I'm
Let's
getting
picture.
worked up and angry about it, but also love it.
Yeah, I need it, but I also like resent it already, and it doesn't exist.
I'm now imagining.
Also, if it happens, I want some rights, some naming rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some
like
IP.
Imagine if we'd had Priest Lisa in
Yes.
a little sumptuous one piece.
Do you know who I would want on it? Who was the toxic ginger guy from Traitors UK?
Oh,
Tall Paul.
Tall
So Paul is like, that is a glass of water in my humble opinion. Give me a toxic ginger straight man with a beard. Oof.
It's actually insane how much you have exactly the same taste in men as my co-host, Philly.
Yeah, Philly and I do. Yeah, we have discussed Paul before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like there were no toxic gingers on Love Triangle. That was also...
It's like, do you watch Summer House?
No.
There's a toxic ginger on that called West, who is so cute. I just want to want to punish.
Just get in there, you know. We love the toxic.
Who from the Traitors universe would you want on Sexy Traitors
Oh,
Island?
Utah from Traitors New Zealand.
Yes.
Oh
hot.
my God.
He was so hot.
He is unbelievably hot. I need to see that there. I also think... So we had Priest Lisa and
We'd get
Linda.
Tranna. We'll get Tranna on there.
Tranna
in
there.
a bikini. I'd be
I
down.
want Linda from Traitors UK as well.
Yeah.
I think that would be iconic.
Yes.
Linda getting her tan
Linda.
on and just shading everyone.
We need to make this happen.
Yeah, I kind of love this.
So good.
Actually, soft plug for that on the 6th or 10th of June, a Saturday in June, the first Saturday.
Yeah.
We're doing on Twitch streaming
Oh.
Traitors players from all over the world. So UK, Canada,
No
New
way.
Zealand, Australia. We are going to be playing Equilibrium, which is a little bit like Sequester if you ever saw that in lockdown.
I love this. Oh, I'm
Yes.
definitely going to tune in. That is also where I'm going to start casting for Traitors Island.
There's definitely some people in there I wouldn't mind singing this one where too. Just
We've
saying.
put Dylan Efron in as well.
Oh my
Duh.
God,
The
yes.
the like sexiest little baby boy.
Absolutely. Maybe him and Utah have a little moment on the beach.
Sure. No, it's fanfic.
Oh, Annabelle, calm down.
It's always
Calm
fanfic.
down.
So good. Look, there's very few people from the cast of Love Triangle I would like to see again. Should we talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about Love Triangle. I just have so many feelings. I just feel so wrapped up in these people.
I do, but I also can't wait to never speak of them again.
Yes, I absolutely won't be following what happens from here.
Absolutely not. Episode 7, which is where we're going to start, is the finale. And I've got to say, because being new to this franchise, I was like, oh, how are they going to do the finale? And of course, because it's the DD of dating shows, they literally just, meet on a park bench in like Woolloomooloo?
So there's
In
so
the public spaces, Annabelle.
literally, and we need to talk about this. Like, I need to go on my format changes rant here because their budget slashing is so apparent and has just resulted in a very boring, low-stakes season where there's really only 2-3 couples that have a finale at all because everyone's already quit. So, first of all, they've really slashed the time. Usually, I'm sure I've seen one where they spent 3 to 6 weeks together before they then brought in...
How long did they have? It felt like this was done and dusted in like 2 weeks. The whole show was filmed.
Literally. I'm sure it was 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Before they brought in the second person. So traditionally, you would have your first person, you'd spend ages with them, and then that person would leave.
Yeah, right.
And then the second person would come in. And then everybody from the first lot would be spirited away to, say, a castle somewhere or accommodation far, far away. Actually, maybe the one I watched was UK, not American. Now I think about it. There was just a Canadian guy there. Anyway, whatever. Spirited away. And then the single gets to spend all of this time with their other person, the new person. And the original suitors
sits on the couch and
masturbates.
masturbates.
Well, they go full Temptation Island and get to watch live highlights of them being cheated on.
Oh, so they show clips.
Yes.
Whereas this time they saved all the clips for Miss Christelle.
Literally. Imagine you've got the first suitor has
Yeah.
been there for 6 weeks. They've genuinely fallen in love.
Does the word suitor not, like, what the fuck? It's
I know.
so, like, dated.
It's so cringe.
And does it not give you a visual of someone, like, trying on a suit?
Yes. Except
I am a suitor. It's, like, very, like, all right, governor.
Emma is the only one I wanted to see in a suit. The rest of them, ew.
Yeah.
So anyway, first suitor's gone away. Now all of the first suitors are kind of like catching feelings for each other or watching the single cheat on them, and then they're crying, and then they come for the second.
It's like Montoya. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Montoya,
Montoya,
Oh.
por favor, Montoya.
That's like a totally different show.
Yeah.
Montoya.
I miss him. So this is what I'm saying. No drama. We've missed half the drama by them. The second suitor getting never getting any alone time. They're all in there together
In the Airbnb. Making cups of tea.
and the whole thing's for 7 days.
Yeah. It's almost like this show was some kind of a, I don't know, afterthought.
Literally. And then let me get on to my second rant is about the mathsification of it.
Yes. Well, Mike, hello. Well, because Stan is 9, right? Like it's the same shit. So they've already got, there's an interest in promoting maths. And then when Christelle was even like, oh, I believe you are from Married at First Sight. I was like, okay. So we're plugging maths.
Finding these despicable, abusive men and thinking that that's going to create drama rather than just being either A, upsetting, or B, the women are going to be like, no thanks, and just leaving. So we have Mike. What a dud storyline that whole thing was.
It didn't work out. But I got to say, the best bit was with Mike, and they got their money's worth from Mike when he said on television that he's a bad person. I actually, when he went, do you know what? I'm actually a really shit guy. I was like, yeah. I was like, well done.
You literally are. Okay,
no. That was kind of great.
Okay, you're so right.
But also and watching, we'll get to it, but watching their final little date, that was actually great.
Watching him and Bernie argue over who was the worst person at the reunion, also iconic.
But yeah, they were trying to make this show maths this time.
They were. And then Sam, if you remember, which you don't, which was Ari's other person.
Oh, of course I remember Sam. He's iconic.
So toxic. He was on the show for 5 seconds.
He came on the show to get the DD voucher. To go back to wherever the fuck he came from.
It was just a mess, and I just think that this would have all been better if they had casted for insane people rather than mean people.
Do you think they invited Sam to the reunion and he said no, or they didn't invite him?
Surely they didn't invite him.
Yeah, I reckon they were like, nah.
No, actually, I take that back. I bet they did want him there because can you imagine what a storyline that would have been if we tried to confront him about it all and he had a rage fit on stage and stormed off?
I would have enjoyed Christelle being like, so Sam, do you think you're a bit of a fuckboy? This is fuckboy behavior. Sorry about it.
And he's like, oh, okay, sure. And she's like, don't put words in my mouth.
In
okay,
those
moving
linen
on.
pants. In those drawstring linen pants in the rain.
Oh,
my
God.
Ugh.
Anyway, yes, sorry. So episode 7.
It's called I Want to Pursue You, which you think is a line from someone else, but it's actually a line from Miss Chloe, who is so messy. We live for a messy bisexual diva.
A messy bisexual English living in Australia diva who makes bad choices. I felt extremely seen by Chloe.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for Chloe. And then when I realized she's 20 and she's an influencer, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Checks out. So the episode starts with a flashback to Bernie and Chloe's cheeky secret kiss at the final triangle party, which I was like, oh.
Yeah, I loved that.
That was great.
I was actually really here for the Bernie and Chloe of it all. Not that I was rooting for them.
No, not at all.
No, but this was one of the only things keeping this season alive when at this point half the cast had dropped out.
Yeah, true. Because, the triangles weren't triangling.
No.
So we needed these two to actually... Because there was at least they were horny for each other and it was genuine.
Chloe did so much heavy lifting with the love square of it all.
She did. She had a lot of lot of people to keep happy.
She was the main character. Everybody else was just there to react to what she was doing.
And I think she was comfortable taking on that role.
Oh, very comfortable. Very comfortable.
We start with the lesbian household, Chloe, Beck and Emma, but it's not going to be like that for much longer. And this is what I love about these girlies. They were like way too emotionally intelligent for this show and like very happy to just call it how it is. So I don't know, I think the producers would have preferred there to be bullshit tension of like, oh no, but we've been told we're, you know, soulmates, so we're going to try and make it work. Not these girls. They're like, do you know what? This is not working.
I wish that and I wonder if they had known about, I mean, not the other girlies not knowing about Bernie was great because it gave us this big moment at the reunion.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like if Beck or Emma had known that Bernie was a potential factor, would they have then continued with each other? Because I was with you. Yeah. Beck and Emma had phenomenal chemistry.
Yes.
I was not feeling it.
And they were robbed of that. And it was funny because it wasn't even clear, like on the last pod, like Christian and I weren't sure if they knew about Bernie or not because it was all a bit, I know this show's edited in a
weird,
whack way. So I was like, I was kind of thinking they didn't know, which was the case. But yeah, you're right. It's almost like they very carefully decided not to let any of the girlies know about Bernie because they knew Miss Christelle was coming.
And they wanted that moment. And don't get me wrong, like it was a really good moment. But I think that I wanted Beck and Emma and I wanted that storyline to continue. And I feel like the only way...
Beck is so hot.
Beck is so hot.
Like
Beck
insane.
and Emma together made so much more sense than Emma and Chloe.
Totally.
And I wanted to see that as an option. Though...
There's still time. They could be.
No. So I have done an Instagram
deep
dive. I've done an Instagram deep dive. I'm all about this. So...
Where are the girls right now?
Chloe seems to be doing pretty well with quite a bit of the cast. As in she's following them and they're following her back.
And they're making little... reels.
No, that's more Ari and Peyton. But Chloe and Bernie follow each other. They're mutuals. Chloe and Beck follow each other. They're mutuals. Chloe follows Emma. Emma does not follow Chloe. Ooh. And Emma and Beck do not follow each other.
Wow. Thank you so much for that research. That is very insightful.
Yeah.
So Chloe's trying to pretend everything's cute and the girlies are like, nah, mate.
Beck and her have a photo together as well fairly recently. So I think everything's good with those two, but Emma's clearly feeling bad.
Emma's pretty sensitive, which we love. So Beck is over it after seeing Chloe and Emma get flirty at the party. But I love this. Like, she's a self-confessed jealous girly. But people that know that about themselves, you know, there's like one of two ways to approach it where you just kind of like, I'm jealous, and then you like let it ruin your life. Or what Beck does, she's like, cool, see ya. Like, she literally just in this moment, she's like, all right, guys, I'm done. Thanks so much. Bye. And I was like, take notes, everyone.
So mature. She's hot.
I was really attracted to her in that moment.
I know. I was attracted to her in many moments.
Because it totally takes all the power away from the situation, from Chloe, like...
From Emma, who's been like into her and they had amazing chemistry, and now all of a sudden Emma's like, no, this is bad for TV.
But it wasn't tantrumy. She literally was just like, I'm good. Yeah. Like, why? Because why else be here? Because the problem with this format is that those suitors, they don't really have other options. They're supposed to be blinkers on for this one person, which has its drawbacks.
Yes.
Yeah, so good on her. Over at Bernie's house.
Oh my God.
This was probably the best moment of the whole season when these two girls just call him out on his shit. And it's like a girl gang just being like, you're actually, when they come out and she's like, for once in your life, get off your fucking phone. Oh. And he's like on the couch on his phone and I was like, yes! I was screaming at the screen.
Okay, the whole thing felt like they had made it for TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing was pre-planned, rehearsed. They came in, they each said their line, and they did it slowly in a way where it could be, the soundtrack could be used for a lip sync on TikTok.
It was so iconic. They made the moment.
Yeah, they hated that man. And I don't blame them. That man deserves hate.
Yeah. I was screaming and snapping my fingers and going... diva. She goes, oh, when they get up, they pack their bags and they both go, oh, I think it's Jazz, turns around, she's like, you can go fuck yourself.
Jazz was so much fun.
Jazz was great. She was criminally underused on this show.
So good. She was amazing, and it was such a shame we didn't, she wasn't
Yeah.
involved in any storylines because no one was really interested in her.
Do you know what show she'd be great on? Aussie Shore.
Oh
Chuck
my
her
god.
on that.
Yes.
Because that'd be great for her.
Yes.
Because I feel like given if she was in a house with other party people, she'd be like activated.
Who kind of speak like her as well.
Mm.
And she'd be down for petty drama. Do you know what I mean? Like she would be there to fight over calling someone's hamburger ugly.
And she'd rock up with a sushi platter from Sushi Train.
Sushi platter from Sushi Train. Hi.
Which was everything.
I love
So
her.
there's go fuck yourself. Then they say, good luck finding love. It was great. And he's just sitting there like, oh.
He doesn't care at all. Like
No.
he's like, whatever. I've already found love. It's with Chloe.
Yeah.
You girls are beta bitches. I'm the alpha. Like, get out of my space.
But so good. I just love that this happened.
Yes.
Because I wasn't expecting, I don't know, normally on these shows, there's like this pretense of, I'm here for you. I've only got eyes for you. And I'm glad we're kind of like moving away from that now.
Yeah, and I liked that, with Mike, individually, it was really toxic, it was nasty, and it was these women basically being like, I'm sorry, I need a police presence if I'm going to be around you.
My God.
Whereas with these two girls, they were kind of egged on by production, and production is
They
just
were
like, why don't you just like come up with a little speech and present it to him? And then they're like, in synchronized, like, we hate you.
Okay, back yourself. Yeah, they're like, tell him to get fucked and leave. Because then, they knew that he was going to end up with Chloe anyway. And then in confessional, Bernie blames Chloe for the whole thing. He's like, oh, she's so beautiful. Like, that's why this has happened. And I'm like, oh, you're gross.
He was off. What was the first one called? Was she one of the Mirinda?
Okay, so the M names I've given up on. Just say M.
So he was off M the moment. Like, he was so hot and heavy for her.
Like Texas.
Found out she was a single mum, and it was like
Gross.
a switch went, and he was just like, no, disgusting, finding things that are wrong with her.
We'll get to it, but he finds things wrong
with everyone. And,
even his beautiful Chloe.
This is what this man, and also the clown, insane clown over with Peyton, be walking around acting like they look like Nuri. And I'm sorry, you
don't.
do not.
Only Nuri.
Nuri got off so light.
And Nuri did not even behave that bad. He did eventually.
Nuri is bad.
Nuri is the ultimate F-boy on the show. But because he's hot, I'm like, sure.
Literally, he's so hot, he got a good edit. And he had no competition and he was barely involved. So... But you guys do not look like Nuri, so you do not get the Nuri treatment.
We need Nuri on OnlyFans, yesterday.
I will be the first person to sign up for that. He has no evidence of love triangle on his Instagram, doesn't follow anyone.
Not. He's embarrassed to have been involved.
Yeah, literally.
Speaking of, next up was Nuri and Ari. And this was a bit nothing to see here. It's like, so the whole thing is like, will he? It's like his decision all of a sudden, not hers. It's like, will he commit to her or not? Because we all know she's super desperate, soz Ari, but you kind of were.
She
needed to chill.
Want to fuck Ari so bad.
She's hot.
Ari, I will be whatever you want to be as long as you're happy to be the primary carer. I'm all in.
But she needs to tone down the clock's ticking, I gotta have kids vibe, because that is gonna scare men away.
Okay, but what about women? Because I'm fine with that. She can do whatever she wants.
Fair game.
I never bought that Nuri was into her.
No, he never was.
He's never been into her.
He did not want to look like a bad guy on TV.
Literally. He didn't want to look like a bad guy on TV.
Which Christelle will call you out on, darling.
Yeah, except he just won't even take it. He just he gave nothing. All season, he was just really hot in the background.
Yeah.
This is what I mean when I'm saying everybody there was just there to be Chloe's background characters.
Yes.
Ari was such an amazing character. She was so spicy. She was there to start fights with Mike. She was there to back up Peyton. She was there to scream in Chloe's behalf. So we needed her because she was such a great character.
Yeah.
And Nuri was simply there to be hot and semi-naked.
which was I was totally fine with.
Oh,
They
no.
got him in the bath. They got him spray tanned.
The moment I saw his pearl necklace, I knew he was an F-boy. I knew it was they were never going to end in a relationship, but I didn't care. He's still one of my favorite men.
The pearl necklace was a fucking dead giveaway.
Oh, you never trust
No.
straight girls. I'm telling you now, never trust a man with a pearl necklace.
Unless you're at a Troye Sivan concert and everyone is homosexual.
Yeah. Yeah. And even then, I wouldn't trust those filthy homosexuals.
Those toxic twigs. Yeah, a pearl necklace at this moment in time is a cry for help.
It
I would
really
say.
is.
It's somewhere between a cry for help and a warning sign to run. Oh my god! But yeah, we thank Nuri for his service.
Whatever. He was there, and also he seemed to be like the other characters quite liked him, and he seemed to be a sounding rod.
Can I say, like, I just have a thing for Kiwis, and like,
oh my god, me too.
the accent is hot. He was really chill. He was doing something to me, but also, whatever. He was barely on the show.
And Chief Clown felt like he could spill his guts out to Nuri. Like Nuri was often there while other characters did stuff.
True. Speaking of, Peyton is next. Poor girl. And Peyton and her clowns. She's weighing up the options between these two absolute drop kicks. And then, like, weirdly, she's like into Jordan now. And I'm like, girl, stop.
I feel so bad for her because she's hot, she's funny, she's got it going on. And I was so glad when I was listening to your podcast and you were out on Dante as well. I don't know if you've ever experienced this as a gay man. I have experienced this on a date with a man myself where this is always on a first date and he's coming on really, really strong, telling you how beautiful you are, like touching you a lot.
Doing Mrs. Doubtfire bits?
sometimes doing Mrs. Doubtfire bits. And like it gets to a point in the evening where he's doing so much, you start feeling frightened because you're like, oh my God, this guy is going to try and have sex with me in this bar and I don't know how to extricate myself from this situation. And that was the love bombing energy that Dante was giving on their first date. And I felt like the show was trying so hard to say, oh, Dante, he's the really nice guy. He's here for Peyton. I'm like, no, he's just toxic in a different way.
100%. Yeah, the show was hoping that he would like swoop in and save her from Mrs. Doubtfire, but I mean, sorry, from I'm getting them
Mrs.
confused now.
Doubtfire was there to save her.
So I'm getting them confused now. What was the other one? He was like Captain Starlight or whatever, like superhero fucking dude. But no, in actual fact, both options were
terrible.
We get a toxic flashback to the insanely bad mushroom joke at the supermarket, and I was like, did we really need to see that again?
So many times. We saw that another time as well in the reunion.
And then we get some clips of Dante being a mess, the whole messiness around whatever he said at the
which
party.
Was not offensive.
I can't tell you what it was because I don't care. But he said something that upset Peyton at the dinner party.
She was off him already. She was like, why are you being a creep? Why are you feeling me up? Why are you coming on so strong? He threw a little tanty about it. She cried because she's like, why am I sandwiched between these two freaks?
She really should have just, jumped into the ocean at this point and swam away.
Did you notice, you didn't watch the last season, but the last Australian season had exactly the same storyline. Where they cast the token plus size woman who was incredible. She was also a professional comedian. First guy was mouthing off to the cameras about how fugly she was.
Can we stop?
And was being abusive.
It's unsafe and it's not. I think it's actually
really not okay.
And then they did it on. Can we stop it?
Second guy comes in, and the first guy all of a sudden pretends he's super into her and gets all competitive. It's like exactly the same storyline playing out twice, and it was boring first time, and it was gross and. Ugh.
Yeah. Peyton correctly identifies that Jordan was only keen on her when Dante entered because he's competitive. And Yes. Why are you still interested, girl?
No. I mean, it seems like this is a pattern for her where a
Yeah.
guy treats her like shit and that's what she feels like she
Yeah.
is into.
And then they show us the hot mic moment, which is, what? I'm not going to fucking date her. She's not. Oh, I said I wanted ethnic and tanned and little. Which, when the way he says the word ethnic makes me want to spew.
It makes me want to spew the way he goes, I'm not into that. Ugh. I have been dreading and waiting all season for the moment at the reunion where she was going to be shown that segment.
It was really well done how they kept it, but also hugely unethical and disgusting. But we love you, Christelle. Over at Mike and Miranda, we get a flashback of their just cooked conversations where he's sort of trying to negotiate, but he's just like a stubborn little man.
Can you tell he's gone and done therapy and like PR training on how to talk to the characters? The cameras, because he has his authentic moments where he's clearly being himself, and then he will come back and do his little performance.
His authentic moments is when he says things like, I just need to find someone that gets me. That's him being authentic, because what he means is he needs to find a sub motherfucker that'll just going to shut up and do whatever he wants.
This is Chloe, and she is irritating.
That was an authentic moment.
That's an authentic moment. When he's like,
when he said, I'm a bad person.
I don't think that was... No. I don't think... that should have been authentic because he is a bad person.
True, actually, you're right. He didn't believe that.
No.
He was saying it because he knew it's what we think.
Wanted it, exactly. And when he goes, he
was gaslighting the audience.
He goes into that final fucking meeting and he's like... No, we'll get there. We'll get there.
That was stun, though. Back to Emma and Chloe, and Emma's moving out. So I didn't know this bit, but the suitor or suitors or whoever's left, because there's no one fucking left in the show, they move out ahead of the big decision, which is going to take place on a park bench, or inside of an actual restaurant if you're lucky. But some of them did get park benches.
I'd rather a park bench. Can you imagine you're like sitting there and you have to wait for the bill after someone's rejected you?
With people walking by that may or may not be planted extras. It's not looking good though. Like, she gets a text from Bernie and she's basically like, he's like, so if you want to meet up, meet me at Hyde Park Fountain at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday. And she's like, wait, Wednesday? Isn't that decision day? And I'm like, yes, girl.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Congratulations, Chloe. She got the memo. Bernie, he already explicitly told you once he's choosing you at the final choosing ceremony.
She's Natalie Imbruglia torn. Back to Ari and
Definitely
Nuri.
naked and crying on the floor.
Ari and Nuri have their final date, and it was pretty cute. And then, nothing to see here. I didn't realize this was like them choosing, but he says yes, I guess.
So usually they do a back and forth a bit like Love is Blind, where they say what they think and then I choose you, and then the other. It's a little bit like that way.
Like a stay or a leave.
Yeah.
Like in maths. Yeah, this was literally just, it was like blink and you miss it. They're out at a bar and he was like, yeah, cool, I'll stick around.
I genuinely thought that this was going to be the moment where he told her he wasn't into it.
Same.
And
he probably should have.
And I thought he was going to use long distance as an excuse.
Yeah.
Instead, he did the flakiest flake move.
A little fizzle.
Where he's like, I'm not really into it because of long distance, and also like you're desperate for kids and I'm literally 21. But instead he said all of that and then was like, let's give it a go, and ghosted her a week later. Also
the GC. Sorry.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah. Mike is up next, and this was great. So it's the way that they went from, what a great night. Here we are at our date, to just like, it just like escalated into chaos.
This is so him though. So this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like, he had his whole prepared for the cameras. I'm such a bad guy and I just know I've made mistakes and like it's all on me because it always happens to me and I just hope I haven't blown it from her. And then they like rock up on the date and he gives her the little speech.
Yeah.
And she's reacting to the actual negative experiences she's had and she's like, yeah, so I'm going to call you out on it and I'm going to say this is not okay. And then the moment she pushes back or like doesn't just capitulate and say, yeah, you're incredible, Mike, he just pops
He's insane.
off.
He hears one thing that he doesn't like, and then he like finds a way to be like, "Oh, look, I'm going to stop you right there. I don't like being spoken. I don't like being schooled. Like
The one thing he doesn't like
what
is
a fragile man.
any criticism.
Yeah,
of
no
him.
criticism. You can't tell him anything. As soon as you do, even if it's like something that he himself even agrees with, because he even owned that bad behavior or allegedly
no, he
owned
didn't.
it.
He's okay to say
He
that.
said that he did, but then when she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna again tell you that it was shit behavior," he's like, "Oh, well, all right, you don't have to keep telling me that."
Oh, I hate him.
Dude.
And I'm sorry. Can we talk about his tattooed hairline?
Yes.
Like, that is so obviously tattooed on. Has he tattooed in the little hairline scar? I don't know. But I'm like, Mike, who are you kidding?
I hate that. Like only physically, I find him quite attractive. No, but I love like a bald daddy. Like if he was like a bald gay daddy, I'd be so on board. I'm sorry, Annabelle, but not him, but like that shell.
I don't know. I think it's the bisexual, the gay in me.
Yeah.
But the gay woman in me specifically, where the personality shines through so aggressively that I find everything about him physically repulsive.
Yeah. Oh no, he's disgust. But I do usually
Go
love
for
a bald man.
daddy.
But the clinging on to that hairline thing is a bit.
He's just so fake and inauthentic, and it was that whole thing was so emblematic of him, and I love that both the women and she was so ready to give him a shot as well.
Yeah, but he's got fans, so.
Oh my god, the fans know I never bullshit. Honey, you're the king of bullshit.
I love this fight. So it like escalates. He calls her a Philistine, which
What?
I was like, sorry? And then he goes, oh, well, look, obviously this isn't going to work. But then she's big and allows them to hug it out upon his request, which I was like, I would have just been out the door. But
No.
she gave him a hug. So for that, I'm like, you are one, like, mature woman. I would be
was
like,
ready to indulge him. She didn't even
fuck
bring
this
up the
guy.
fact that he was a selfish gym person. What
A
was
gym
Belinda?
asshole.
Gym asshole 20 times.
and then he's like, I'm just going to go back to the GC. I'm like, what's with all of the guys being from the GC?
Oh
I think
my
there's a common
God.
thread here. He's like, I can cuddle my dog. My dog knows me well. And I was like, do you know what? I don't think humans are for you, doll.
Does Mike bottom for Nuri now?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I actually kind of ship those two together.
Peyton is next. And I knew that there's no future for Peyton
With either of them.
that's bright, like on this show. I already knew that and I'd braced myself for that. But how it transpired, not even I could have predicted. Like, I thought she was either going to pick none of them or like maybe Dante. But the last thing I thought was that she would pick Jordan.
Oh, I knew she was picking Jordan.
Did you?
I knew she was picking Jordan. That she had not spoken to Dante since the whole I should be in another love triangle incident. He tried to talk to her about it and she's like, okay, well, thanks for that. I'm going to go continue packing. She was clearly hung up on Jordan. Jordan was literally the worst.
Was his negging approach or whatever, did that work?
Yes.
Fuck. Gross.
So gross.
She's better than that. But also she fell for it, so I'm kind of like, it's a bit on you, babe.
Oh, I wish she had. I don't wish she had picked Dante, even though the show was trying to tell us should have picked Dante. I wish she had just gone away and said, "I deserve better than either of these men."
I just thought for story, it would have been like Dante messed up and like made her cry or whatever, but then he's like made it up to her. That's what I thought the story was going to be.
By simping and apologizing a couple of times, there was no chemistry.
Yeah. True. So she lets down Dante gently first on a park bench. And she's like, yeah, look, I just clicked more with Jordan, you know.
I know we spoke literally one time and I was so repulsed by you. Honestly, I could never emotionally recover from the Mrs. Doubtfire moment.
Dante gives a pretty, like, classy exit for a reality show. He's like, yep, cool. But it's classic Dante. He's just like kind of a bit simpy and lame. He exits the show with his head held high, but it's also kind of like,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, no, I kind of agree. Dante, though, delivered in unexpected moments.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really expect him to be so feisty at the reunion.
No.
He obviously had his little feisty moment after a couple of drinks when he had that weird fight with Peyton. But I don't think he was I don't think he was total dud casting. I just think that he... And the Mrs. Doubtfire moment will obviously be the only thing we remember about this season.
I think he got like fucked by the show a bit. Like, I think he wasn't ready to be on a show.
No.
Like, yeah, they kind of got him.
Yes.
He fell into the trap. Anyway, I was expecting it. And then, yeah, when she picked Jordan, when Jordan walked up, I was like, oh my God, he shaved the beard off. That was the only thing I liked about him was that beard.
Oh.
And then when he got rid of it, I was like, okay, now I just literally hate all of you.
The straightened, gelled hair.
Yeah, with the one bleached bit.
Oh, God, he's disgusting.
He's got like Shane Warne energy.
Oh, Shane Warne energy, and we're not even going to go into the small ethnic woman of it all, but
no, that's problematic.
Thinks
to
he's
say the
Nuri.
least.
He thinks he's Nuri, and he is Shane Warne.
But even a Nuri isn't like ordering off the menu.
No,
he's got some fucking class. Like, come on.
Okay, but all I'm saying is that Clown said that to Nuri, and we didn't hear what Nuri said back.
True. And you're right, and they would... But would they want to protect Nuri?
They're protecting
for
Nuri.
the story of him being a good guy.
Yeah.
But then they kind of make him out to look a bit shit.
A little bit shit,
in
but
the
not
finale.
cancelable.
They didn't want to make it just like all of the men are shit.
Yeah.
True. Or release the tapes.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
No, you're actually onto something there, I think.
Yeah.
Because he either said one of two things, like, bro, that's gross, shut up, which they would have aired.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, bro.
Yeah, mine's pretty shit too.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. And of course, they saved the biggest shit show till last. Who will Chloe pick? They remind us. I forgot there's like a voiceover lady who's kind of like not in it that much, but like sometimes she says things and I'm like, oh, hey. She's like, Chloe has 3 choices. Emma, Bernie, or leaving the experience alone. And I was like, thanks, girl.
Alone, like she was when her fiance told her she wasn't in love with her anymore.
Her 4th choice, which is a hot threesome with Emma and Beck.
Oh, and all of the audience's first choice.
Yeah. Emma is first up, which I was like, oh, if you're first, you're gone, girl. And yes, she lets her down gently. And she kind of like blames her a bit. She's like, well, you did pursue Beck.
In fairness to my girl, Chloe.
Yeah.
Emma pursued Beck before Chloe pursued Bernie.
True.
And there was 0 chemistry between Chloe and Emma. Emma would have fuckboyed Chloe as well. Chloe was sandwiched between 2 fuckboys.
Emma dodged a bullet by being depicted as a fuckboy because she would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's giving, I know you haven't seen I Kissed a Girl, but there's a character on it called Fiorenza who was like a mask hottie and like everyone wanted to go and she was a fuckboy.
Yeah. They always are.
I was like, you are reality TV's first lesbian fuckboy and I'm so into it.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
It's a really good show. Yeah, she goes, I'm really sorry, but I just can't give you the love that you deserve. Which I'm like,
oh, lesbians.
I'm like, okay, Chloe. Emma's like, it sucks, but no regrets, you know. You're wonderful. And then takes off, but then has a little cry.
I wish that Emma and Beck had ended up together. Like, can you imagine if those two decided to be together at the end of this? I'd have been so into that.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Chloe off.
Yeah.
Anyway, she goes to Bernie next. So she runs to the fountain at midnight or whatever. And he's like, oh, what did he say? He's so annoying. He's like, oh, you came. Oh, just, I don't know, I've been waiting here a while. I was like, excuse me.
Oh, he's so entitled.
Sorry?
You don't look like Nuri. I'm getting that on a
No.
t-shirt.
Yeah. Talk to me when you look like Nuri.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
And she's like, yeah, well, I'm here because, like, I don't know, I don't see gender, but I do really want to pursue you. And then, like, before she's even finished the sentence, he's, like, tongue-pashing. He, like, jumped on her. These guys just wanted to fuck the whole time.
Can I know it's
Yeah.
frowned upon in this day and age to talk about people's personal appearance, but I love it.
Have you heard this podcast?
Okay, could we talk about his aggressively square shoulders?
Oh, yes, he's a very square boy.
I remember the first time we saw him shirtless. This was back before he'd even
He's
met
bony.
his first
Yeah.
suitor. And he has these like very long, very square shoulders.
Yeah.
With is that Cyrillic tattoo around his... There's just
The
a lot
little-
going on there. And
he's done the scattergun little bits of tattoo approach, which I giggle at because it's like... They're just the dumbest tattoos, but the placement makes it look like he's got like lots of tattoos, but they're very few and they're very tiny,
yeah.
dainty little things.
He thinks he's
But
like...
they're in spots so you can see. It's what all
Yeah.
the kids are doing because they can't be fucked, like actually sitting through like a proper...
He's poor. Like
session.
famously, okay, this was the thing I've thought about him and Chloe from the beginning. Is Chloe was talking about how she's had to financially support all of her ex-boyfriends, and we saw him talk in the first couple of episodes about how he doesn't want a button-down career. He basically wants to be a professional influencer. And the moment I found out that these two were getting together, I was like, oh, and here comes the next man you're going to be financially supporting, Chloe.
So good. And then he's so cocky, like they walk off and he's like, I knew it, pretty much.
Ugh.
But I was saying from the start, like they're perfect for each other because they're both kind of like narcissistic, messy, like young people.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish him on anyone, but yes.
And then the voiceover goes, but will their relationship survive in the outside world? And then it's like, Christelle will tell us everything we need to know at the reunion, and the much anticipated reunion.
I loved this. I only endured this season for the reunion.
Yeah, it was good. And the marketing budget all went to Christelle.
It all went to Christelle, which was a dud.
Actually, I think the production budget all went to Christelle as well.
Yeah, Christelle, I love Christelle.
Oh.
I love Christelle.
Stunning.
I've got to say, I felt like we're very used to having these dating show, even any show reunion hosts.
Yeah.
Not ask the hard-hitting questions, not be that amazing. Where I felt like Christelle conspicuously let us down was in the lack of respect that she commanded as a host.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, if little peasant, skinny twink Bernie feels like he can come for you without you ripping his throat out, his esophagus through his neck,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, Christelle needed to step that pussy up, and
Literally.
she needed to be dressed in like a dominatrix outfit with a whip, and she needed to be able to like whip people into shape, like literally,
Yeah.
when they weren't behaving.
Yeah.
Like she was still good. She had some good lines. Like she got, she called a lot of people fuckboys, and she left us with some like really inspiring advice.
Yeah, inspiring advice. Call them fuckboys.
Chase. She's like, it's all just the chase. You guys are all just like chasing the thrill of the chase. I was like, groundbreaking relationship advice, Christelle.
And she was so here for the fellow queers, which we loved.
Oh, when the girlies came up, she was like, just so we all know, queer girly over here. Woo! Like,
I'm bisexual,
rainbow flags
you're
fly out. I was like,
bisexual.
we know, bitch.
But okay, so that's what I think was the issue. I think she had spawned into Australia thinking everyone would know who she is and that she's a big deal and that would command
She's our queen now. Her
gravitas and
and G.
respect. And
They're like the royal family.
the audience is clearly understands the gravitas and respect. Mike, Bernie have no idea who this woman is.
No idea.
And so when
True.
she's like, I'm sorry, I have a lot of reality TV experience in case you don't know.
When she said that, I was like, pull out the CV. Because these straight men are not educated. You need to tell them, Christelle. Tell them.
Yeah, they had no idea what they were coming up against.
Well, at least she looked hot.
Yeah, she looked
She looked
really
stunning.
hot. She looked so hot.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. But also, tinfoil hats on, she did look a little bit green screened in.
Do you think so?
Like, I'm sure she was there, but like, remember when RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under first premiered and Abby Chatfield was out here being like, RuPaul was never even in New Zealand.
Oh my!
They green screened her in.
Oh my God.
Christelle was giving that.
Actually, now I think about it, did I ever see her on screen with the others?
Did she interact with any of our unhinged singles and suitors?
Can you imagine if it was just some random placed person there?
It was a tennis ball on a stick.
A little computer with her on Zoom.
Yes.
That is giving the budget of this season, in fairness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised now you said if it was just a laptop.
Mike was first in the hot seat. I like that she even said, she's like, you're in the hot seat. I was like, oh, okay. We'll just call it what it is. And the first M, I love her calling him self-focused. She's like, it's a very self-focused person. I was like, correct.
I couldn't believe when people were like pretending to be outraged when she called him a washed-up 50-year-old reality star. I thought everyone would be clicking their fingers.
Where's the lie?
Ari was cackling. Ari had to like hide her laugh, but everybody else was pretending to be shocked.
Yeah, fuck off with that. It kicks off between Chloe and Mike, which I loved. He's such a victim. He's like, oh, I've copped it hard.
Oh, it's so easy for me to be sandwiched between these two haters. It's like, why do you think literally everyone here hates you, Mike?
And he's like, you're all like, got moral superiority. And I'm like, well, yeah, they kind of do though. Because like, you're actually a shit guy.
Literally, I didn't do an Instagram check on him. I just assumed that given no one's following Jordan, no one's following him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just following like Andrew Tate.
Ew.
And like Joe Rogan. Like he's giving such aggressive men's rights activist energy. Like the most of anyone I've ever seen on a show.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think going down this maths route was a casting misstep.
Yeah. But do you know what? I'm still glad we had him on the show.
No, yeah. I don't think he was the worst decision. Obviously, Sam was an infinitely worse decision.
Yeah, because at least he stuck around.
Yeah.
Got the paycheck. Yeah. Then all the M's are just like calling him out on his shit again. And he's just sitting there not taking criticism once again.
But Bernie calls him out.
Yeah, of course. Because this is where the battle of who's going to be the shittest guy on the show starts. And can I say, like, what a title to take.
It was really hard, and I can't believe that Jordan wasn't further in contention. I felt like if he had been louder, he would have been more in the fire. Like, Mike knew how to command the camera attention. He knew he was going to get more negative publicity, and all publicity is publicity.
True.
So he really, like, came to the forefront. And
what was Bernie's endgame? Because Bernie makes content, no?
He doesn't. He actually has a lot more followers than the girlies I was looking at.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be like young people, right?
I mean, I guess
enthusiasm.
so. I guess so.
Young people?
I
don't know what they like anymore.
Maybe being on like a second, third, fourth tier Stan show is the same as being on Traitors Australia, where you just don't get a lot of followers out of it.
Yeah. And just like occasionally some random from like Hungary will message you being like, hey, loved you on the show.
It'll literally be some gay Finnish dude being like, oh my God, my boyfriend and I really loved you. Just so you know, I'm not a creepy straight dude. I'm like, girl, you're a man in my DMs. Of course you're gay.
I love that for you though. How good.
I love
the guys of the world. The guys of Finland reuniting over Queen Annabel. Stunning. Christelle is giving us some really good like pop psychology. She's RuPauling, and she goes, look, it's never too late to work on yourself. Maybe we've all taken away from this how we can be better people. Yeah. And Mike's nodding like, yes, hopefully these women have learned how they can be better people. Mike's like, do you guys remember when I said that I was a shit cunt? Yeah, do you guys remember that? Accountability. Yeah, did it. I've worked on myself a lot, and I've just realised that, like these women, I really need to find someone who appreciates my finer qualities. Yeah, I would say that I fucking kicked accountability in the dick. Oh, I did it. I said at one point that I'm a bad guy.
Don't use the fucking victim word around me.
Because bad things happen to me and they don't happen to good people. Peyton and Jordan are next. And they're still together, which the producers would have been like, thank fuck, because we need them to be together for this like stunt to get pulled off.
This was a disaster. A slow motion car crash.
Yep. So they're still together. And Christelle's like, oh, you're still together. And I'm like, you evil bitch. He's so full of shit. Even Christelle is quite shocked about this. Like, the long distance of it all. I'm like,
he was so fake. It was so clear he'd made a conscious decision to do this for the cameras. And then when he turns around and after they do the big reveal and is like, well, why would I do this? And she goes, well, actually, in reality TV, we do this for clout.
I love when she called that out. He kind of Freudian slips a bit. He's like, yeah, we won the game. Which, like, he was joking, but I'm like, no, you actually think that, though.
Yeah, no, that's what he's going for.
You're out here being like, well, we're still together, so, like, where's the prize? Is the prize, like, the full, like, paycheck from, like, staying to the end? I don't know.
Oh, in his mind, it's like, no, but I fell in love with the ugly chick, even though, like, it wasn't my thing, because, like, I did the experiment, and even though I look like Nuri, and, like...
And then hats off to the producers, because how they do it is first they roll the tape, like the little clip package of Dante being a shit guy, which we all already know about. And so we get to all go, and then out of nowhere, they play the hot mic moment. And I'm like, so evil, but so good. It's like a sucker punch of like, you thought you picked the right one. No, you didn't.
But this is what made me so mad. So like at the end, they do a cutaway and as Christelle's giving them a lecture about how, you know, you've all been learning your lesson about how you go after what you're used to, but maybe the right person, the stable option was there all along. And they do a zoom in on Dante and Peyton, and I'm like, no, Dante is fucked.
True, but they need to, they need to like somehow turn these fucking psychopaths into characters in a show that like some of which are likable, which that's a tough job. So they're trying.
Like, show me a likable man that was on this show. Like, if Nuri was the least hateable and he was the pearl necklace fuckboy.
That should be a new show, Pearl Necklace Fuckboy. Coming after Traitors Island.
I'm sorry, but you've probably never heard of Jack Kerouac. Do you even know the movie Pulp Fiction?
Peyton's face says it all. Like, she's... shocked to say the least. And then Christelle acts shocked. She's like, oh my God, I've never seen that clip before. So,
this was so sad because I felt like it was the double whammy of... Okay, it was bad because they gave nothing. Like, Clown Boy was just like, yep, well, what I said was bad.
He said it was bad. And then he claims that he doesn't remember, which I was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't remember saying that. I'm like, let's not... at any point do that.
Well, I've got no excuses. And he's not fighting because he doesn't give a fuck about her. All he cares about is how he's perceived. So he's like, the less I talk, the less airtime this gets. And she's so shocked and humiliated and upset. And she's just holding it together. That she's not really giving any reaction. She's like open mouth and just saying, well, you talk. And what I really wanted, I'm sorry because I'm watching this show... I wanted there to be a screaming match. I wanted there to be more.
They should have just placed some glasses of throwing wine, like just strategically around. Like everyone should have had a full glass. Do you know what I mean? Like they needed weapons.
The only memorable love triangle moment for me was in the UK season where this woman, Jessica, just completely...
Jessica.
Completely and utterly lost it over the Canadian basketball player leaving her for a younger woman. And she was just hysterical throughout the whole reunion, throughout everything. And I'm like, where was that energy? Where was the energy? I mean, sure, we had fights, but I want the fight from someone who was genuinely into another person.
I hope I get the flu or something soon because I would love just like a week at home to watch every single season of Love Triangle.
Yes.
I'm kind of in now.
Like, don't get me wrong, Beck rushing off stage having a panic attack.
Yeah, it was all right.
Was fine, but I wanted her to stay on scene and start screaming.
Oh, I wanted physical. I wanted her to like strangles him.
Yeah, give
I
me
wanted
below
security.
deck.
I wanted security to like have to come in. Like Christelle's there, like pulling them off each other. Like that's
Yeah.
what I wanted.
Bravo, TLC
Yeah.
level. That's what
Yeah.
I want.
But I mean, it was still good.
Yeah, no.
She
Okay,
was shocked.
please. It was great.
She's
It was great.
breathing it out, and then I love Christelle. She's like, "Look, babe, like whenever you're ready." She's like, "Take your time, whenever you're ready." But also, we've only got this studio for another 3 hours, so could you tell us like what's going through your head?
This is really awkward, Peyton, because like you're giving us nothing, and I'm not going to give anything either, and like we've got a show to make.
And I liked her answer. It was really good. She goes, no. I'm not saying shit. And she looks at old mate Jordan and she's like, it's your turn to speak. And I was like, that's correct. Because they wanted her to like spiral verbally and like freak out. But she's like, no. Explain yourself. And he's like, yeah, that sucks. But also like, that was before I was into you. Like, he actually tries to defend it with that. He's like, that was, like, in the phase where I was, like, negging you hard. And, like, Dante hadn't rocked up yet, so I wasn't, like, fighting for your attention.
Guys, I don't think, like, you're getting the message or, like, the storyline I've constructed here. Like, the whole thing is, I thought she was a mole.
Ugly dog.
Hideous dog.
Hideous mole.
But, like, I participated in the experiment and I got to know her
The
personality,
Experience TM.
the experience, and now I actually, like, think you're a pretty good chick.
Because I'm such a good guy that I moved past your hideous body to be with you because I'm a good guy like that.
I look like Nuri, but, like, as a fugly as Shane Warne.
Ooh.
And I still like you for your personality. So actually, all that stuff I said was okay.
Yeah, she's disappointed. But at this point, she's also like, "This has been the most fucked experience of my life. So I'm kind of just used to it."
At least you got Ari out as a friend. Her and Ari on Insta are good.
Cute.
Like, I love those two together. Can those two date? Those two would be a fucking hot couple.
I want some wines with the girlies. Like, yeah.
Oh my god, I would love wine with those girlies.
She's like, my biggest thing is honesty. I'm like, oh, shouldn't have come on this show. Christelle goes, Peyton, do you see a way forward with Jordan? And I'm screaming, no, no. And she's kind of like, I don't know. And then this is when Christelle gives us her clout lecture. She's like, well, there's this thing called clout. You're welcome, everyone. I've got a PhD in reality TV. And then she goes, so I think what you did was you just wanted to look like a good guy on TV. So you didn't want to break it up until after the reunion. Busted. And he's kind of like, yeah, well done.
Like, no, but he could totally launch his stand-up career off the back of this. Do you not remember his little fart noise gadget he had? Like, and his mushroom joke? He's so funny, Sam.
Yeah.
Do you know what think, with, like, side note?
Yeah.
Well, how do these people think they're going to come across on TV? I know I'm really annoying.
Yeah. You were, like, so self-aware.
I know I'm insanely annoying.
It was refreshing. Yeah, I think a lot of people think they can produce themselves. That's the problem. And then they get there and they're like, oh, no, I'm powerless. I'm a puppet to these people. And, like, yeah, whereas, like, I feel like what you did was you went on TV and you were just consistently you. So no matter what they used, it was, like, fine. Because you're like, well, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm insane.
I feel like I would do that if I was on the show. I'd get there and I'd just be like, hey, cunts.
Consistently batshit. Like,
or I would fall for it. I don't know. It depends.
I think you need to know or be prepared for the worst. And Mike was clearly trying to play a new character. He'd done zero work on himself, maximum work on how to curate what he was saying for the cameras, and it fell through. And Clown just had no idea.
It's Ari and Nuri's turn in the hot seat next. They play the Sam clip, which
my God.
everyone's all shocked by, but, like, yeah, unsurprisingly, not at the reunion.
Miss Sam so much.
Yeah, then they play their clip where it's like them in the bath and everything, and Christelle's kind of horny from it, and I'm like, same. Yeah. I did like that these two were at least fucking. I don't think anyone else was on this show.
Yeah, that was just so disappointing.
Yeah. I mean,
was it Clown and Peyton's first kiss after they agreed to see each other after the show?
gross. Yeah, I think so.
Ugh.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, if you're not like fucking in the first 48 hours, like give it, like just don't
it's
bother.
not happening.
It's not a thing. And then they give us the update, and Chriselle acts all surprised when they go, well, we're not actually together anymore. She's like, oh no, what happened?
I can't believe it.
And they're like, they talk about the fizzle of it all. I thought Ari was being very nice to Nuri. She could have gone, you're a dog cunt, and you ghost. Like the word ghosted was not used, which the straights love.
And, you know, I feel like they made an off-camera agreement that they were both going to give each other a positive edit because he was so clearly not into her. And she, you know, was saying they were both reiterating she's not moving to the Gold Coast for him. I felt like they had a non-romantic alliance to make this a positive reality TV experience for each other.
It's almost like he was dared by his mates to like go on a show.
It's very weird because all of the other cast members I looked up at least acknowledged on their Instagram that they were on the show. He had a lot less followers than some of the others and still did not acknowledge he was on the show. It's a lot of thirsty pics.
Okay, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked her though. She's like, Ari, she's like, I'm not going to beg for your attention. And
no, I love her.
So good. And then, of course, he blames the distance.
Ari was my favourite character on the whole season.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obsessed with her.
Would party with her. I just, if I was her gay bestie, I would be like, girl, you need to tone down the desperation.
No, as her lesbian bestie, I'll be like, dial up the desperation. I'm here.
And then somewhere in between that, she would get great advice.
Yeah.
And then Chriselle's advice is just like, I don't fucking know. Watch a lot of reality TV.
She said, don't pack your bags. She said, if I heard that, I wouldn't pack your bags.
She's like, but I have this listing you might be interested in. Yeah.
Love her.
Chriselle finally gets to the gays and she's so excited. She's like, gay, gay, gay. She turned into JoJo Siwa.
By the way, I'm gay.
She's
Did
like,
everybody know I'm gay now?
The JoJo Siwa makeup just appears
No, stop
on
it.
her eyes,
I'm
like Captain Planet style.
Stop.
So good.
Is Chriselle gonna end up dumping G for like some disgusting 40-year-old man who is giving George Michael? I don't know.
Who knows? I feel like, do we know the real Chriselle? I don't know. Yeah,
No.
I think there's... Anyway, they roll the tape of the girlies and Chriselle's like, look, you're messy lesbians, but we love it. And I love that you can stay friends. It's like what I'm all about, the sisterhood.
Well, is this at the point where I was like, surely the lesbians know about his name is not Brian, Bernie.
Yeah.
But I think of him as a Brian because he gives Brian.
Oh, he's got such... he's Bernie.
She, and you know she wanted to tell Emma and Beck about him. This was a production decision that said you can't tell them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think the girlies, they wanted... Who would want to do that? I don't think Chloe was like, don't tell them. Or is she a messy diva?
No.
Who knows?
No, because I think Chloe would have wanted to tell them. She's all about honesty.
Yeah.
She's all about sharing. I think she would have wanted to tell them. This is just me, tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
I think production said to her, no, we want this moment for the reunion. You are not allowed to tell them. This is a breach of your NDA.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe you and Chriselle can scissor after the reunion. And she was like,
I'm
sure.
scissoring Beck. I'm scissoring Chriselle. I'm doing like a 6-way scissoring action at this point.
And then, of course, we get Bernie in the firing line, which I was like so hard for. They roll the tape and everyone gets to see how mean he was to Texas right away, being like making fun of her and shit and her accent, which I'm like, what?
It was just boring. Okay, can we talk?
It was boring.
It was boring. And Bernie, the whole way through these interactions and his playback, is like acting shocked and being like, oh, I was such an arsehole. Oh, embarrassed. Oh, you little boy. Stop it. Like, stop pretending to be self-aware, Bernie, and stop pretending to be better than you are.
And then they also throw Texas under the bus because they play her clip where she calls Jazz like an ugly dog.
Oh my God.
But I love that the girls were just like, nah, that's fine. Like, she's like, look, I was being silly. I was playing the game, whatever. And she goes, I love Jazz so much. She goes, well, that's fine. Because Christelle's like, just so you know, Jazz, you're beautiful. And she's like, yeah, girl, I know. Like, when she goes, I know I'm hot, don't worry. I was like, yes.
It made me so mad when Chriselle was reassuring Peyton and Jazz they're beautiful.
I
I'm like,
know.
you wouldn't do that if you actually thought they were beautiful.
So patronizing. When you look at someone that is, just so you know, like, you're really beautiful. It's like,
Yeah.
were we doubting that? Was
Sorry,
that in question?
Excuse me. I look like Nuri.
Like, tell that person. Exactly. I look like no. Tell that person that said that, like, don't be a cunt. Don't tell me that I'm beautiful.
I look like
then
Nuri.
It's like, oh, maybe I'm not.
He does not look like Nuri.
Poor Jazz. But also, not poor Jazz. She's awesome. She loved it.
And also, look, in fairness to Brian, who's actually called Bernie, I felt like, and I understood what he was trying to articulate, but he was too dumb. And I felt like you called this out in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of him was saying that he's hotter than her. But I think what he was trying to articulate is that her and him weren't the same brand. Like, he thinks that he's edgy, cool.
He really does.
Melbourne North Side. And
Yeah.
she's like basic bitch. And that's kind of what he was
it's
saying more than anything else.
Exactly. He's very like brand conscious. He's like from the TikTok generation.
But he's not smart enough to articulate or
No.
like media trained enough to articulate that in that moment.
Well, like, I don't know. I feel like as soon as you admit that, it's like, ooh.
No, because I think you can. I mean, he was trying to say that. He's like, no, you're made up and overdone, and I'm not.
He could have just said, yeah, I'm not into that kind of girl. I like a, yeah. Oh, I don't even know.
No,
the
I think you
words.
just, oh, you're like, you're South Side, I'm North Side.
Totally.
You know?
Which was apparent. Like, even watching it, I was like, oh, they're not a good match.
No.
I could tell, but you're right. He didn't know how to get it out. And then so it ended up just him calling women ugly dogs.
Yeah, and I don't, like, there's a lot to criticize about Bernie.
Yeah. Big time.
A lot.
Then, as a shock to the group, they reveal in the clip package this secret relationship of Bernie and Chloe, which everyone was like, ugh. Literally the whole room was like gagged and gooped.
Beck runs off stage having a panic attack.
Yeah.
Emma is crying. I felt really bad because I felt like this was a long-term damage to that friendship, which I think was probably one of the few positives that they would take away from this.
It was so cruel.
And I'm glad that Beck and Chloe are still friends. Obviously, Emma is not still friends with them. But
Yeah.
I did feel very sad for them, and it was really cruel, and I'm sure that wasn't Chloe's choice.
Like, chef's kiss, though, for a reunion. Like, this kind of bombshell. Yeah.
Honestly, if
Vibe.
it was me, I'd still tell him and just tell him to pretend to be shocked and run off
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, probably. I love that in Emma's breakdown, she's like, I feel like such a fool. I was looking after you at the dinner party. I was filling up your wine glass, girl.
You were a fucking drunk bitch, and I was there taking care of you.
I was like, she's my girl.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
keep that wine glass full.
They rallied behind her though pretty quick. Didn't you think? Like,
Yeah.
I thought the girlies were a solid front.
Yeah, they did. They were shocked and then they rallied.
I thought that actually what made it okay was the fact that her and Bernie aren't still together. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're almost there. That's actually what happens next. So Mike is rubbing himself because he's no longer the worst guy in the cast. And boy, is he so happy.
Jordan's off camera and we forget he even exists.
Yeah, exactly. Jordan just like Homer Simpson's into the hedge, like, bye. And then Chriselle goes, so, you guys still together? So, like, after all that, they're not even fucking together anymore because of a trip to the Blue Mountains.
So they went to the Blue Mountains and fucked. This is the tea.
Yeah.
They went to the Blue Mountains and
Fucked
fucked.
at the Three Sisters.
And he told her that they were in love and it was all good. And then literally less than 12 hours before they go on camera for the reunion, he's like, you don't really let me be myself.
And then worse, it brings us full circle back to the very first episode. Bernie brings it down to her sense of humour.
Do you know what this means? Because I've had this before.
Or where someone said, we've got different sense of humour.
It explicitly means he doesn't feel like he can say the N-word in front of her.
You reckon? He wants to be like
Yeah.
super un-PC.
He is a white man who says he doesn't feel like he can express his sense of humor in front of you, a bisexual woman. This means he wants to use the F slur and the N word. No, I know this because I've had this spelt out for me multiple times. Yeah.
But I also think like humor is one of those things where you can use that in a way where it's like similar to Mike being uncriticizable. It's like my way or the highway kind of thing.
He wants to be offensive.
He wants to be able.
He wants to be offensive. He wants to be offensive.
Is that his shtick? I haven't seen any of his.
I have not either. I'm just.
Yeah.
I am casting this aspersion on his name.
Yeah. No, I love that.
And I'm like, he's over here being like, oh no, I want to be able to like kind of razz her a little bit. And I'm like, no, he wants to be aggressively racist.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like he sucked up a lot of the airtime on the show, but I still have no idea who Bernie is. I don't think we got a peek behind that curtain because he was trying so hard to like look cool. He's like the epitome of a pretentious like cool guy that's so focused on looking cool that like he's just being chaos in the process.
There's an Instagram account called Beam Me Up Soft Boy, and it's all like text messages and hinge messages from Bernies of the world, where it's like this new brand of fuckboy where they have learnt like therapy language and they have learnt like edgy, and it's literally this is him in a nutshell, and secretly deep down he wants to use the N-word. That I'm calling it out.
He's faux woke. Yeah.
He wants to have his little Cyrillic tattoos and then use the N-word with his girlfriend at home.
Oh, so good. Bernie is like, he's well and truly pissed off every single person in the room. And then Christelle brings up the art of the chase. She's like, was it just the art of the chase? And he denies that. And then Christelle pretty much straight up calls him a fuckboy. And I squealed.
He is a pearl necklace short of the full package.
He was pearl necklacing. And then Mike still...
Oh my God, this was my favorite part. This was my favorite part when Mike is like, oh yeah, remember how you were calling me up for being the worst?
He's like, yeah, let's get our pitchforks out for this fuckboy. And I'm like, Mike, no, calm down. You were about to get away with it. Like, shut up.
Mike, you were actively abusive, whereas this guy's just a bit shit.
And then Mike calls him a scrub.
No, but that was so deep. He is.
I was current reference.
This is what I meant when I said, very out of date. But I'm also like, Chloe would have been financially supporting this into the future.
Yeah. And then on a final note, Christelle reads them all for filth and says, there's a pattern here. You're all fucked and you're all wrapped up in the thrill of the chase. Bye. And she gets on a private jet back
I don't
to
think
LA.
Christelle will be having future hosting gigs in Australia. I think she blew it. I think she thought Australia was below her, and I'm sorry, Christelle, but you blew your big shot.
Aw. I mean, I'd still have her back on
Oh,
show,
no, I
but
would
not
as
a
well.
host. Yeah.
No, I love her as a
Even
contestant.
because how do you feel she was on the Traitors?
A fart noise.
Yeah. When she... like the Traitors were revealed to her and she didn't even react.
No,
I was
she
like,
gave
get
nothing.
her out of there.
I love her on Selling Sunset. She's perfect as the protagonist on Selling Sunset. I actually don't really need her on anything else.
She needs to stick to the reality drama genre.
Like,
and not competition and not dating.
There's not a lot of
host.
opportunities to be the sweet girl.
Did you watch her Neighbours cameos?
Oh my God, no.
Neither, but she could have been good on that.
I love that that's a thing though.
She really soaked up all of the like gigs that were available to her in this fine country.
I love Americans who recognize, like Pink, who is completely dead in America
knows.
and spends her entire life traveling
performing
Australia.
at like Wollongong Arena.
Americans who recognize the money for them is in backwater Australia, the Wyoming of the world.
Well, Pink gets like the Bogan dollars, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And Christelle's just kind of coming for, I don't know, the Bravo fans that will also watch a Stan show.
Yeah.
If they're that bored.
No, I respect that, and I think more export celebrities should come here and exploit us.
Ugh, Annabelle, it's over. We did it. We survived the love triangle.
This was so rambly. As I progressively got my way through a bottle of wine, I feel like I've said everything I need to about this season. Ari, come into my DMs. I'm here. I'm ready to be a mum with you. I will provide for you. And we
Nuri,
can be spicy together.
my DMs are open.
Yeah, we can service all of you. You can find me over at Babes on the Brink.
Yes.
We're covering the Traitors Quebec. We're about to start covering the Traitors Poland.
Hot. God, you're so international.
I'm so international.
Is the Traitors Quebec like a live season that's on now?
It is live right now, and they are
Good
absolutely unhinged. Yes.
I gotta say, there's something about those Quebecois. They're sexy people.
They really are. Like, the Canadians are completely divorced from reality.
Yeah.
And the French Canadians are a different breed.
Even though I'm still recovering from Celine's no-show at Eurovision.
Oh, my God.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah. Eurovision was epic.
It was. Anyway, well, go check out Babes on the Brink. It's a stunning pod. And I'll see you soon, doll.
Bye.
Bye-bye.